All right, guys. Welcome back to Limitless Formula Racing League. Today, we're here at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Here for the Yas Marina circuit, of course, at the LFR's Season 2 event here in Tuesday Night Racing League. This is the Tuesday Night division, as it had mentioned, and today we're here for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix at the Yas Marina circuit, which I have already mentioned, but thought I'd mention it for another time. Today is the finale of the Season 2 Championship event in Tuesday Night's division, so excited to get this Grand Prix underway here in Abu Dhabi. Alright, so let's talk about this track before we get into the Grand Prix itself. We see Bugs Bunny going off there and out of the session already. He's going to be qualifying at the back of the grid, which is going to be a little unfortunate for the Ferrari driver. But let me move on what I was going to say there about the track itself. So we're here at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, which is the United Arab Emirates. That's where we are. Abu Dhabi is the capital city of this amazing country. We're located in the Middle East, just off the Persian Gulf. And of course, we're here for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix at the Yas Marina circuit. A beautiful circuit indeed. It has always hosted finales in Formula 1. Of course, in 2021, we had that epic showdown between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And I think it got a lot of attention, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix did. It was very, very interesting. In terms of the track itself, we got 21 turns to make up a circuit length of 5.554 kilometers. That's 3.451 miles long. There's also 2 DRS zones to help encourage overtaking for around here. One down the in between turn 7 and turn 8, and one in between turn 9 and turn 11. Turn names are going to be a little confusing because in the real 2021 race, we had a different layout, which the turn names were completely different and the corners were completely different. So the information for this particular Grand Prix is a little bit different to the normal real-life F1 2021 race that we had just last weekend. So yeah, just wanted to clear that up before we got into this. That's why you guys may see different corners. That's why there's 21 corners instead of the different amount of corners that we had in 2021. But anyway, with all the track details aside, let's get into the race. Enough with all that. Let's get back into the qualifying session here today. If you guys are just joining us, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, and if you are interested in seeing more content, and if you're liking this video as well, please like this video. That would really be helpful to the LFR community, of course, and to me as well. If you guys were enjoying it, definitely hit the like button. Send in some comments as well. We're doing a live stream right now, so if you guys are just joining us live, send in some comments on your predictions, your thoughts, your just your feelings about this last race of the season here in LFR in Season 2 of the Tuesday Night Division. So currently, we have Anthony on provisional pole position. We've just seen Bugs Bunny crashed out. A contender for pole position, possibly, is out of the session already. Unfortunate to see that, of course. But this track can be very difficult to manage, especially with those tight corners. Of course, in the real F1 2021 race that we had, it was a very different layout. We had the lawn chicane at, I think it's turn 11 on this particular layout, converted to turn 9. And it's just a really long left-hander that goes and just kind of circulates itself into those triple right-handers. So I like the new layout better than this old layout, but we still have it. We still have the old layout in the F1 2021 game. Hopefully they will introduce the new layout quite soon, but for now we have the old layout, and for now I think it will keep haunting me, the differences between the two track layouts. But I'm Formula Jonah, your commentator for today, bringing you all the action from the LFR race here in Season 2. We got a championship on our hands, and as I mentioned, guys, this is the finale of Season 2 in the Tuesday Night Division. It is going to be a very interesting finale, of course, at the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Now, before we get into this, I have to mention, while there is a championship going on in the Constructors Battle, the Drivers' Championship has been announced. It has been confirmed that Rab is the Season 2 champion. Congrats to him once again. We mentioned this a few streams ago, that he was the champion of LFR, but just wanted to echo what we said previously, and just say thank you, or just say congratulations to Rab, and just wow, just gotta say congratulations to him. He did a great job this season. But in today's race, we will not be seeing Rab. If I'm not mistaken, he is unfortunately not being able to make the race. I think he was stuck in traffic or something like that. But he's not going to be able to make the race. And so that means that we could see Aston Martin take over as the leaders of the Constructors' Championship. As I mentioned briefly earlier on, the Constructors' Championship is still up for grabs here today. So we'll see what happens in this particular race. And another thing I want to mention as well is that we will be having double points being scored. So we're bringing back those double points being scored from the 2014 real-life Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Keensholm just got a 5th-place grid penalty for collision with Nem. What happened there? Let me write on board. Oh, that is... boosted out of the session. I was just scrolling over to another driver, but he is out of the session. He crashed out at turn 3 in a race that I had just yesterday. I crashed out at the exact same part of the track. It looks like someone else has also crashed out. That might have been Daisy, #1 fan. He's kept it going, of course, but it looks like he spun off or maybe was slowing down to avoid the collision with boosted, stranded McLaren on the track. But yes, that corner can be quite difficult. I think we're going to see a lot of crashes at that particular corner, so we'll see how that all works out. What was I talking about before? Oh yeah, I was talking about the Constructors' Championship. Aston Martin and Haas are battling away for the Constructors' Championship in today's race, and as I did mention, we are bringing back those double points that we had in the real F1 2014 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Of course, this is the virtual world, of course, but this does mean that teams can score some mega amount of points in today's race. It's going to be very, very interesting to see how this all works out in today's race. We have 10 minutes remaining of this qualifying session. We still have some time to go until the final few seconds remain of the qualifying session here for the final time in Abu Dhabi. There's still a lot of stuff to talk about. There's a lot of things I want to be talking about before we get into the race itself, so we'll move on with that in just a moment's time. But I want to talk about our drivers up at the front of the table right now. James Biscuit just set a 135.6 on the medium compound tires. Very quick lap time from the Red Bull driver. That was a very consistent lap as well, if I'm not mistaken. A 135.622 is the Red Bull driver with the fastest time. Anthony in the Aston Martin sits second on the medium compound tires with a 136.1. Now, he's a few tenths behind his rival in today's race. I have a feeling these two are going to be battling it out in the Grand Prix itself. But he is on the medium tires once again. It looks like he's going out for another lap. So let's run on board with the Aston Martin driver and take a lap around the old Abu Dhabi Grand Prix layout. So down a little bit of a straight, no DRS as we come down into a fast left-hander, a turn 1. You want to ace that curb as much as possible on the left, get straight on the right. Now, this is where drivers are going to be spinning off. If you go too wide, you can spin very easily. Now, into a very, very difficult chicane in the new layout, you can just go straight into the hairpin right there as you come down into turn 7. And it's in the new layout, it's turn 5 because, of course, they got rid of that chicane, and I'm glad they did because that chicane is really difficult to manage. Now, down the first DRS straight, you're going to get up to around 200 miles per hour. Of course, it depends on your downforce settings and your exits out of the hairpins. But down into turn 8, a very difficult chicane. This truly is because you want to rotate that car as much as possible, slow down as much as possible as well because you don't want to hop that curb as you can get an invalidation and kind of ruin your lap in ways. Drivers tend to go left as much as possible. The normal racing line is to the right as you get right in the curb into the chicane. In the real life new layout, there is none of this part of the track. It's just a lawn left-hander, but in this old version, we still have that chicane. So round the final couple of corners into sector 3 we go into the triple right-hander. This is a heavy braking zone, guys. You want to shift down to second, maybe up to third immediately after you hit second gear because it is a very difficult corner in terms of braking. That corner right there, you don't want to go too wide as you can hit the barrier and ruin your lap, of course. This corner, you don't want to get too much on the sausage curb, and through the final turn, you're going to get a lot of traction issues off of the exit, and Anthony is going to come across the line with a 135.892 for the Aston Martin driver. He does improve on that lap, but it is not provisional pole position for the Aston Martin driver. He stays in second place, but is now closer to his rival James in today's Grand Prix. He's got a 135.8. James has a 135.6. So that was a pretty good lap time from Anthony. Very impressed. I was very impressed from the Aston Martin driver. Keen David is on a lap as well. I'm curious to see what he can do. He's reserving, if I'm not mistaken, for Haas as he goes P2 on the medium compound tires and just splits the two rivals on the mediums in first and third. So Keen David now puts himself in the mix there on those soft compound tires. It's going to be interesting to see what he can do. I'm very, very curious to see what Keen David can do in the Grand Prix itself. Keen's home in the AlphaTauri on the soft compound tires. Now, he does have that 5-place grid penalty, which is going to be a little bit of a setback for the AlphaTauri driver. But if he qualifies on a pole position, he might be able to start P5 or P6. I think it's going to be P6 for him if he qualifies on pole position for today's race, and he could definitely do that. He is on the soft compound tires, and if the medium runners stay the way they are, he might be able to get into this as well. Let's see how this all works out. Keen's home on a lap, so let's ride on board with the AlphaTauri. We'll do another onboard with Keen's home as he's going to start his lap as Nero just set a even faster lap time, puts it ahead of Keen's home for the moment here. The McLaren puts it P5. McLaren need a good result in today's race. As Keen's home spins the car, barely gets on the curb and it spins it. He keeps it out of the wall, touches it briefly, but thankfully he saves the car. He just got very close to that curb, and it looked like it was going to be pretty good for him, but he just got a little bit too much on it, and that ruined his lap. Unfortunate to see that, of course. He will be making sure that he calms down these tires. These tires are going to be burning hot, guys. They're going to be so hot that when you come on the power, they're going to instantly want to make you spin. So Keen's home will just be taking it very slowly here for this lap, and then maybe he'll be able to get those tires in the right temperature to be able to set another lap time, most likely at the end of this lap. But if he's going to want to set a second lap at the end of the qualifying session, he might want to come into the pit lane. So, anyway, let's talk about, let's see, who else is on a lap? HBO Swarth in the Williams just put it P4 on the soft compound tires. Great to see that. Anthony has now put it onto the softs. I think he's going for the soft compound tires. Now, this is a very interesting thing I want to talk about, guys, and that is the strategy for around here. Now, I just did a race yesterday, as of this date. I did a race yesterday on this track, and I went medium soft, and it worked out beautifully for me. A late safety car didn't help out my race, if you guys were wondering about that. But what I wanted to talk about, the reason why I mentioned this is because these drivers most likely will be going for that same strategy. James Biscuit, I think Sivey and a few others that are starting the medium compound tires. The strategy that they're probably going for is a medium to soft. Now, the normal strategy for around here, if you're starting the medium compound tires, would be a medium to hard. And a lot of drivers go for that strategy, and I don't blame that. I don't blame them at all. That is a great strategy for around here. The only thing is that this track and many other tracks, the hards do not work very well. They do not work very well, guys. They are, not the most suitable tires, as they never really are, except if you're racing around Brazil, which the hards are pretty good. But yeah, the hard tires are not the best tires in race pace and just in all racing, as that's why they're called the hard compound tires. They are the hardest compound on the grid, but particularly here, the hards do not work very well. So my current strategy that I tried in the previous race, and I expect a lot of drivers to go for the similar strategy, would be medium to soft. Now, the thing is, you have to take those mediums to at least lap 17, I'd say. Lap 16, lap 17, somewhere around there, guys. But like if you pit lap 14, lap 15 on the soft tires, you will not make it. I guarantee that you will not make it unless you do some sort of ultra conserving of your tires. That's the only option I see for that particular strategy. But if I were drivers that were going from the medium to the soft compound tires, I'd pit around lap 17, maybe lap 18, depends on your tire wear, all that sort of thing. So in between lap 16 and lap 20, that's when you're going to pit from the mediums to soft. So that's just one strategy for everyone that's on the soft compound tires. And I only see two drivers on the mediums right now. That's Sivey and that's Big Weir. Both drivers are on the medium compound tires, but everyone else on the softs, you're probably wondering what's their strategy going in today's race. Well, two-stop. I think it definitely is a two-stop strategy for these guys, unless they want to risk it and go for that really weird strategy of a soft hard. That could be an option as well. And of course, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix can have a lot of safety cars as well. So we'll see what exactly happens, but I think the softs to hards is an okay strategy, but the two-stop strategy of a soft, medium, soft is the best strategy if you're starting on the soft compound tires. So we have 2 minutes remaining of this qualifying session. We are getting into the end game now of the season. Of course, one final qualifying before we end off Season 2 for the Tuesday night division. We are heading off to Season 3 next. I'm sure the owners will have some details on that in the coming maybe weeks or something like that. So we'll see how that all works out. But it looks like James Biscuit is out on the soft compound tires. I may or not have mentioned this. I was talking about that he was on the mediums, but he's chosen to go for the soft compound tires. He's going for one final push, as well as Anthony. Let's take a look at Anthony's lap time. Keep an eye on the Aston Martin's lap time, as he's going to be pretty much the first of the top 5 to set a lap. And that'll be, of course, their final lap. Let's see what his Sector 2 time is going to be as he exits turn 10 into turn 11. Let's find out what Anthony's Sector 2 time is going to be. It's going to be a purple sector. Let's find out. Yes, it is. It is a purple sector. He is 0.3 up on his lap time. That is looking really good for Anthony right now. He might be able to stick it on provisional pole position for today's race. Of course, James Biscuit and Keen David and others are on lap times as well. But next to come across the lap time should be I think one of the Alfa Romeos is Mr. Basil, who just put it P9. Next up is the AlphaTauri. I think Kingsholm is out on a lap. He's about to start his lap. So next will be Yo-Yo in the Mercedes. Here it comes around the final corner. What's this lap time going to be for the Mercedes driver? He puts a P8. Good lap time for him. Anthony, next to come across the line. What's his time going to be? It's a 1:35.2. That is the lap that these drivers will be chasing here today. He is over 0.4 faster than James Biscuit, as Dem was disqualified from the session for parking in a dangerous location. Unfortunate to see that, of course. James Biscuit, it looks like he's backed out. Yeah, he has backed out. James Biscuit is not going to be on pole position. That is it for the Red Bull driver. He's not going to be on pole unless anyone else can improve on their times. Nero crossed the line. Now what can he do? He puts it P2. Very good lap time. Purple sector in the third sector. A 1:35.4. Next driver to come across the line should be the Haas. Number 1 fan. No, he is pitting from his lap. Veloce AM is on an invalid lap time, so he is not improving on his time. The Red Bull driver of James Biscuit would be the next driver to come across the line, but he has not improved on his time. That is it for the qualifying session here today, unless Worth can go ahead. Oh, and he's messed up a little bit on the exit of turn 17. And that might be it for HBO's Worth in the Williams. And he's invalidated it. That is it. That is the qualifying session over. Anthony put in a brilliant lap to put it on to pole position for the final race in Abu Dhabi. Aston Martin need a good result in today's race if they're going to take the Constructors' Championship. Anthony will start on pole position for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix with Nero in P2. Congrats to him as well. And James Biscuit rounding off the top 3 for Red Bull Racing with a 1:35.6. What an amazing top 3. Qualifying is over. What an amazing qualifying that truly was. It was really, really exciting. So now, if we thought qualifying was exciting, let's wait until the race and see what happens. Because here comes the race, guys, for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix for one final time in LFR Season 2. Alright, I think we're just waiting for Aab to come across the line and finish his lap. Even though he is invalidated his time, he is the last driver to come across the line. But wow, what a qualifying session that truly was, guys. Anthony on pole for the final race in Season 2 of the Tuesday Night Division. Anthony on pole with a 1:35.2. Congrats to him. He is the driver that will start on pole position for the at the Yas Marina circuit for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And it looks like Aab's come into the pit lane. It looks like we got 40 seconds before this race gets underway. We'll wait for the drivers to come into the get onto the formation lap, of course, we're going to get into that loading screen. It will take us about, I'd say, a minute, maybe 2 minutes before this race will get started. So grab some snacks, grab some drinks or something, and get ready for this Grand Prix. And yeah, we'll have a fun time watching this amazing Grand Prix. If you guys are enjoying the commentary so far, please smash that like button. I'd highly appreciate that. Subscribe to the LFR YouTube channel. As we get to the formation lap, it looks like the qualified session is done. We're ready to get the race underway for the final time in the Tuesday night division in Season 2. It is Anthony on pole position for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. He starts on the soft compound tires. Nero in the McLaren starts P2, and James Biscuit starts P3, but on the mediums. That is a very interesting strategy, and I think James Biscuit could be in a shot of taking the race win if he gets a good start. If he maybe challenges Anthony and Nero on possibly a chance of fighting them in the first couple of laps, he might be able to win this one. Because if he's going medium to hard or medium to soft, it doesn't really matter. As long as he gets that gap, it will be very interesting to see how this works out. Congrats to the rest of the drivers as well. Keen David up in the top 4 for Haas. HBO's Worth in P5 as well. Great to see that as well for Williams. So it's going to be a very interesting Grand Prix. A lot of things can happen as we head into the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix for one final time in Season 2. If you guys have any questions, any predictions, do send them down in the comment section below. I'd highly appreciate that. We want to get some comments in here, so keep sending those questions in. I'll try and respond to as much of them as possible. Of course, I'm commentating, so it's a little difficult to multitask on both, but I'll try my best to read all the comments that come in. But we're waiting for the drivers to set those setups. They're waiting for the drivers to set those tires, of course. And then we'll get the formation lap underway. And then, of course, the Grand Prix itself. A lot of action to come, guys. I hope you guys are excited about this one. It's going to be a fun Grand Prix for one final time in Season 2. If you guys are unfamiliar with who I am, I'm Formula Jonah. You guys can check me out on social media, on YouTube, on Twitch, on Twitter, on Discord, as well on Instagram. All the social medias, really. You guys can check me out. Do subscribe to my YouTube channel if you guys would like to. I'd like to get some more followers on there. That would be very much appreciated. So let's get this race underway with first starting off the let's do the rundown of the grid of these 20 drivers before we get this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix underway. Anthony on provisional pole position, or on pole position for Aston Martin. He's going to score the last pole in LFR Season 2 with Nero alongside him. Good lap from the McLaren driver. He put on a great performance in the qualifying session. James Biscuit on the medium compound tires. Watch out for him in today's race. I think he's got a really bold strategy, of course, with those medium compound tires. He starts alongside King David on the second row of the grid. HBO's Worth is P5 alongside Sivy on those medium compound tires as well. Keep an eye on him. Flea in the AlphaTauri starts P7. And he's alongside Big Weir. Now, he's sandwiched in between the two medium compound runners, so hopefully he'll be able to get a good start and then hopefully pull away from those mediums before those medium tire runners start being faster tires, of course, and start being those faster compounded tires. So we'll see how that all works out. But yeah, moving down with the rest of the grid. Yo-Yo in the Mercedes starts P9 alongside Diddy. In the Alpine starting P10, rounding off the top 10. Mr. Basil in the Alfa Romeo starts P11 on the medium compound tires. He's the first of the other drivers below the top 10 to pick whatever tire they choose and to start on a fresh new set of tires. Number 1 fan is P12 alongside Mr. Basil on the 6th row of the grid. We got pallets in the Alpine, I think that is. No, it's the Williams. I'm so confused with the colors of these drivers, with Williams and Alpine looking very similar. He's got Iggy in the Red Bull alongside him on that row. It's an all Ferrari 15th and 16th. Abe and Bugs Bunny need to get a good result in today's race, as well as Keen's Home, who had that 5th place grid penalty. He's going to have to make a recovery drive in today's race. He's alongside Boosted, who crashed out quite earlier on. He starts P18. And rounding off the grid is Thibbo Boy and Nem in P19 and P20. Thibbo on the soft compound tires. Watch out for him with getting a good start against those medium compound runners. I think the mediums will start being faster tires than the softs, of course. Around lap 6, that's probably where the mediums will be the faster tires. So let's find out how this race gets underway. Hope you guys are enjoying this so far. I'm Formula Joe, your commentator for today. We're ready to get the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix underway for round 17 of the Season 2 Championship event on the F1 2021 game. One final time in LFR, we will say the 5 red lights out, and it's time to do so. As the 5 red lights out are about to go out, we're just waiting for a good camera angle. There we go. It's 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 light, 5 lights. And it's lights out, and racing gets underway here in Abu Dhabi. It's a great start for the front two. Great start for James Biscuit as well. But Anthony leads us the way as he goes round the outside of Nero. They make a little bit of contact as Nero was looking to make the move. James Biscuit side by side with the McLaren driver as James is up at a P2 now. King David looking for the move on the McLaren driver. The McLaren now trying to make the move on James as well. Yellow flag in the back. That might be Kingsholm and Nem at the back of the field. It looks like Kingsholm has spun off there. Unfortunate to see that as that's a Red Bull going wide there. Down into the hairpin we go, the Alfa Romeo of Mr. Basil, and I think Iggy made a little bit of contact there. Looks like it's all good though, as Sivey in the Aston Martin is dropping back a little bit on those medium compound tires, but he's going to start picking up the pace in just a little bit of time, probably around lap 6, as I did mention earlier on, as it looks like Esportsof is now trying to make the move on Nero, as we have Sivey and Flea side by side. I told you guys Flea's going to get a great start, as he did. He's on the soft compound tires and battling away for P6 in this race. He's looking for the move. Here comes the AlphaTauri. He was going to the right, then swapped it to the left side of the track, and that was a brilliant move. If he can pull this off, this would be brilliant for him as he tries to go around the outside, and you know what's happened? It has worked out for the AlphaTauri driver. That was brilliant from Flea there. He was trying to go to one side and then swapped it at the last moment to try and make the move. He kind of caught Sivey off guard there, and Flea now moves himself up into P6. That was a very smart move from the AlphaTauri driver. He played that one very well. Now, it looks like we have a little bit of a DRS train already forming at this particular Grand Prix. Of course, DRS is not enabled quite yet. Looks like Bugs Bunny is making its way through the field. Same with Aab as well. The two Ferraris need to make a good move. Aab on Iggy. Iggy makes contact with number 1 fan, I do believe. Iggy went a little too much on the left side of the track there, and unfortunately is out of the Grand Prix. No, he's still in this race, so good to see that, of course. Kingsholm has catched up to this pack as well. Oh, that's Mr. Basil out of the race. Already we have a retirement, and that is a VSC that's been called out. Nem also out of the race as well. What happened there? Oh dear. Did Nem hit Mr. Basil? I wonder if that's what happened. That is a full course safety car that has been called out, and I wonder if that's because Nem made contact with Mr. Basil and the FIA said, okay, we want to bring out a full course safety car because there's 2 cars in the middle of the track there at the exit of turn 1, entrance of turn 2. And that is the full course safety car that has been brought out on lap 2. Unfortunately to see that, of course, as we want to get the racing underway, but sometimes we need to clear up this stuff. You know, we need to make sure that these drivers are being escorted to the hospitalities and all that sort of thing. Of course, this is just the virtual world, so it's not there's any damage or anything like that. Yeah, so the safety car is now out on track. We will get the racing underway, and probably in the next 2 laps, as the safety car, of course, has come out due to the contact between Mr. Basil and Nem. It looks like Mr. Basil must have crashed on his own. I didn't see a full camera angle of exactly what happened, so I don't know exactly. But Mr. Basil did crash, and Nem, I do believe, hit the Alfa Romeo. It kind of looks like that was that. But because of that, the safety car is out on track, and Anthony will pick up the field and will lead us away in the next 2 laps once the safety car heads in. A few drivers looking for a move into the pit lane. King David's going for it. King David is going for it. Esportsof and Flea also into the pit. So this is quite early from these guys, but totally understandable, as well as a few drivers are actually coming into the pit lane. It looks like 5 or 6 are coming into the pits. And it looks like they're all pitting onto the medium compound tires. Yes, it looks like they're all onto the mediums. That's actually a pretty good strategy for them, to be honest. If they can take those mediums really long, they can take those mediums to around, I'd say, lap 19, 20. You can pin onto the soft compound tires. That would be a really good strategy. And to be honest, that's a really smart move from some of those guys to go for the medium compound tires. Now, for all the soft tires runners that stayed out, is this the best move for them to stay out? I guess it is. To be honest, it's their call, of course. I would have pit, but that's just my opinion on that. Of course, these drivers know more information than me because, of course, they're driving those cars, and they know exactly what's going on track, what the tires are feeling like, and all that sort of thing. Because the softs can go long for around here. They're just not the ideal strategy. Of course, those soft runners will most likely go soft hard or soft medium, or they could risk it and pit very early if the degradation is very high and go soft, medium, soft. That could be an option as well. I wouldn't recommend it, to be honest. I'd try and stretch those softs for as long as I can, and then of course stretch the mediums for as long as you can. It will be all about tire conserving for this race for them, but that's what wins races sometimes. You know, we'll see if this all works out. I think Anthony, Nero, Yo-Yo, I think those drivers are going to be going for a soft medium strategy here. With the safety car out, this does mean that the tire degradation has kind of been like stopped. They've kind of been stopped. The tires have now gotten to they've gotten into this moment where they're kind of like stopped. There's no degradation for those softs. There really is not. And so that means that everyone on those soft compound tires will be able to go longer than what they previously were thinking. Of course, the safety car will most likely be out for around 3 laps. So that means they add I'd say the soft tires can probably go to around lap 10 now that the safety car is out on track, of course. So drivers most likely will go soft medium just because of the safety car. Before, the information was different, of course, because the safety car was not on track. Of course, it was possibly a soft hard. That could be a strategy as well. But now that the safety car is out, it has completely changed the strategy for the Grand Prix itself. So we're now on lap 4. We've had a safety car that came out on lap 2. It will most likely come in at the end of this lap. The Aston Martin safety car will be coming in, and it will no longer be an Aston Martin 1-2, if you guys know what I mean. Of course, we have an Aston Martin in P1 of the Grand Prix, and we have an Aston Martin leading us away with the 2 color schemes, of course, with the British Racing Green. It is a brilliant color, I gotta say, guys. I can't wait to see what Aston Martin come up with for next season. I hope they bring in a little bit more of that, the lighter green, kind of like what is on the little halo there. A little streak of green there. I'd like to see more of that. I'd like to see more, to be honest, I would like to see a little bit more green, to be honest, or no, a little bit more pink. That's what I was thinking of. I know that sounds kind of weird, but I think it would be cool to see a little bit more pink on the car, just a tiny bit, like maybe on the wing, on the front end plate. I think that would be pretty cool. Maybe like little pink streaks on the back of the wings as well. That would be interesting as well. But right now I'm just kind of rambling, guys, because I don't know too much about what to talk about. There's not a lot of stuff to talk about in today's Grand Prix in this particular moment. Of course, we'll get the racing underway, and then we'll get all the action to cover as the safety car comes in this lap. We'll get the racing underway. Congrats to all these drivers as the racing will be getting underway. That's great to see, of course. And the safety car will be going in this lap. Anthony will lead us away, and the question now is, where will Anthony go? Will it be at the exit of the last corner at turn 21? Will it be on the before that, on the little bit of a straight between turn 20 and 21 on the double right-handers, or could it be on the main straight itself? Could he leave it up to the final moment of before, of course, we cross the finishing line? He will most likely go at the exit of the last corner. We will find out in just a moment's time. Oh, and we just had a comment that came in from Mr. Basil, and he said he's gutted to be out of the Grand Prix. I feel for you, man, but hopefully you'll come back at the next one. Of course, we don't want to see anyone retire from the Grand Prix, but that's the way it goes sometimes in racing. Hope to see you at the next one, of course, in next season. That'll be great to see. But Anthony gets the race underway. Now he has a 5/10 gap to James, and this is not really the best of strategies for James now, because the thing is, of course, those mediums to soft strategies still great option, and preferably is the better option at this stage in the Grand Prix, but Anthony's tires can go a lot longer than what they were going to be going a little bit earlier on, so that's not good for James. It's great for Anthony, of course, and this means that we'll get a great fight in today's race. Bugs Bunny is up to P5. That is incredible from the Ferrari driver, but Yo-Yo is coming back at the Ferrari. Now, Yo-Yo's got those soft compound tires, so they're going to go side by side, down into the hairpin, or no, sorry, at the chicane. Yo-Yo down to P6. Bugs Bunny keeps that position. Big Weir now is looking to make the move as well. Ayub in the Ferrari right there as a yellow flag. Is that Iggy down in P18? I do believe that is. It's Ayub going to try and go for it. He's looking for the move. He's going to send it down the inside. Goes the Ferrari driver. Oh, and Yo-Yo has made contact. A lot of contact on the track there as Yo-Yo was spun around with Bugs Bunny. There was contact between the two. Thank goodness the Ferrari of Ayub just got out of the way there, but there was contact, and that means Yo-Yo is down to P18 from P5. That is not great for the Mercedes driver, and I'm sure the stewards will be looking into that one. And it looks like Keen David is moving down to P12. What happened to the Haas driver? He's trying to make a move on Thimbo. Thimbo now. Ooh, is Keen's home and boosted. Oh, the Alpine. Alpine has made contact a little bit with Keen David. As it looks like Big Weir is out of the Grand Prix as well. Unfortunate to see it. What happened to the Alfa Romeo driver? Spun off possibly at the exit of turn 20. Oh, that's unfortunate for the Alfa Romeo crew as both their drivers are out. Oh, that's Nero! Out, he's spun around. He's facing the wrong way on the track. The McLaren driver has lost it at turn 3. I tell you guys, this track is very difficult to manage, and this has really shown that a lot of drivers have spun off at certain parts of the track, but that is Nero down to P13. It is not going good for the McLaren at this particular stage in the Grand Prix, but a lot of things has happened here. I think there was a little bit of contact with Keen's and boosted. And there was a little bit of contact with Thibbo and I do believe King David, if I'm not mistaken. As Thibbo got a little bit too much on the left side of the track. And made a little bit of contact with, I do believe, King David. Oh, is that King makes a little mistake off of the curb there. But King David's going to go for the switchback maneuver, and he's got the position on King's home. Down to P8 now. But he's going to look to make the overtake on King David as much as possible. As also we have Bugs Bunny moving up into P3. This is really going good for the Ferraris now. Bugs Bunny is up to 3rd. Ayub up to 5th. Wow, that is incredible. But it looks like King David has gone ahead of Keen's home. I think he has that gap now. Safety car, or sorry, not the safety car. DRS is not enabled for another 3 laps because, of course, the safety car came out, and we have that rule in Formula 1 where the safety car, once the safety car comes out and once the safety car goes in, DRS cannot be enabled till the next 3 laps. There we go. Now that we've hit the 3rd lap, the DRS is now enabled out on track. So great to see that as well. Up at the front, though, the battle continues on. I think Anthony's tires are starting to wear down a bit. I think they're still great tires right now, but they are going to start wearing downward. James's tires are not at that point at all. They're actually the best they can be, to be honest. 6-lap-old mediums are exactly what you need. I think if you could choose one tire till the end of the Grand Prix, from the start to the end, I would choose medium that are 6 laps old. Because they can go long and they can they're great tires. Of course, the softs are great too, but the mediums are just great tires, especially when they're on 6 laps old tires. But anyway, it looks like HBO Sworth and Boosted are side by side. It looks like Williams had a little bit of lockup down into turn 8. But he keeps ahead for now. Flea is now trying to make the move on the McLaren driver. Here he goes. He's trying to get the better exit out of Boosted. Boosted still has DRS. So does Flea, though. But Flea's looking to make the move. Here we go. The AlphaTauri down the inside. It's been a really good day for him so far. Hopefully this continues on for the AlphaTauri drivers who come down. Ooh, a little contact, I do believe, between the two. Looks like there's no damage, though. So good to see that, of course, that there's no damage. But it looks like the 2 Haas's have swapped around as well. Was there a strategy going on between the two? We don't really know exactly, but King David is up into P6. I don't think there was any team orders. That's the word I was looking for. As it looks like King David maybe just soar past Daisy, number 1 fan. It's actually number 1 fans coming into the pit lane. So he has decided to pit onto those, off of those 6-lap-old soft tires. I think those softs are starting to degrade for some of the drivers out there on track. And if they're starting to degrade for number 1 fan, they're most likely starting to degrade for Anthony. We've been talking about this a little bit earlier on, but the Aston Martin driver is going to start feeling that tired egg, and I think he's going to be starting to worry that James is going to come bast. And I think James is actually going to come bast probably in the next straight or 2. I think Anthony will keep ahead at this particular straight, but if James gets a really good exit out of turn 9, out of that chicane, James might be able to get past Anthony. Let's just see how this all works out. It's looking pretty good for the Red Bull driver. They got pretty much an equal exit there. Yeah, I'd say they got an equal exit. I think Anthony will keep ahead for now. James is gaining the time, but I don't think he's going to make the move quite yet. And let's see if, who else is now on track? I think Ayub is trying to make the move on Sivey as well. Sivey in the Aston Martin is trying to, oh, his Diddy's out of the race. That could be another safety car. And that is a full course safety car. Another one called on track on lap 8, and that is a second safety car that has been called out. This is absolutely perfect for the Aston Martin of Anthony, who will now come into the pit lane. Diddy out of the race, of course, becomes our 4th retirement of the Grand Prix itself. Unfortunate to see that we don't want to see any retirements from the race, but these things do happen in racing. Anthony comes into the pit lane. What will James do? He comes into the pits as well. Bugs Bunny into the pit lane. Everyone's pitting, except King David. King David stays out. That'll work good for him, of course. I think Kingsholm stays out. Same with Esportsof as well. That is very interesting. Kingsholm stays out on those 7-lap-old medium compound tires. He'll promote himself up to 2nd place, though. So that'll be really beneficial for him in today's race. We will see how that all works out. Pretty much everyone else is pit. Anthony has pit onto the mediums. James and Bugs Bunny have pit onto the softs. And Sivey and Ayub have pit onto the hard compound tires. This is a really mixed up strategy here today. I am very surprised by this strategy right here. We have 3 drivers on the medium compound tires. We have, on the fresh new set of medium compound tires, we have 4 drivers on the fresh set of soft compound tires. We have two drivers on the hard compound tires. This is just crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw intermediates. Of course, that's a joke. I don't think we're going to see any intermediates or wet tires coming into play in today's race. That would be awesome, though. You know, I was talking with some friends a few days ago about wouldn't it be cool if a league did rain in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix or like the Bahrain Grand Prix. It would be totally unexpected for drivers. That would be pretty cool, though. I'd enjoy watching that race and commentating over that race as well as, but Baboon J just joined the race. I think he's a little bit too late to join. Of course, there's only 20 spots in the race, so he wasn't able to join in qualifying either. But he's welcome, of course, to watch the Grand Prix. I'm sure he will be doing that. Let's talk about our race leaders. King David on these 5-lap-old medium compound tires. Kingsholm on 8-lap-old mediums. Esportsof on the same compound and same tire degradation as King David, same amount of laps, and then the rest all on fresh tires except Fibbo and Iggy. Very, very interesting. So I'd say a little bit of overtaking is going to be happening right now, and what I mean by that is we're going to see a lot of overtaking. I think Anthony is going to have to make these moves fast, because the thing is, he's got him, James Biscuit, right behind. Bugs Bunny as well. Both drivers are insanely fast. These guys are very quick drivers. As we have known, they have put on an amazing performance all season long. I'm not sure if James is a reserve. Not exactly sure about that. Bugs Bunny has been, I know I've been commentating over him for a while. He's been very quick throughout this season. Both drivers are very quick. That is my point. And so that means Anthony, on those medium compound tires, will have to defend like crazy, but also overtake like crazy. If he's going to win this Grand Prix, it's going to be really difficult to do so. But the question is, what is James and Bugs Bunny's strategy? It is most likely going to be a medium. They started on the medium, so they're going to probably go medium, soft, soft, which is a really good strategy, to be honest. That is a very good strategy. I'm very surprised by that, but actually that is a very well-thought strategy. I think that would work out beautifully for them. The question is, they have to get past all the top 5, really, and then they have to get a good gap if they're going to come ahead of their rivals like Anthony and Flea and Ayub and all these guys. So we'll see how this all works out. But a lot of action still to come in this race in the Tuesday night division. If you guys are enjoying this one so far, do send in some comments. Like this video if you're enjoying. Subscribe to the channel to see more LFR content. Season 3 is coming up as well. We just had the Monday night division race. I wasn't commentating that one, but I know that someone else was commentating that. I remember watching it. It was awesome race, a really awesome race. Great commentary as well to whoever was commentating. Yeah, it was awesome Grand Prix. So definitely check out that race. That was brilliant. And I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, the Sunday division is also coming up this Sunday. Of course, that'll be the finale and the final race of LFR before of course, everyone's going to be having a holiday break. We're all going to be on holiday break. I'm going to be going on holiday break for the next 4 weeks or so. So I'm not going to be commentating or doing any YouTube content or pretty much anything. I'm just taking a break from all of that and doing different things. Because, of course, I think every driver, commentator, league admin, anyone, graphic designer, needs a break. You know, we all need a break for a bit, so I'm sure these guys will enjoy their break and come back in the new year. It will be great to see how that all works out. I've been commentating nonstop basically since July, when the game came out, it's been a lot of amazing moments throughout the racing. But at some point I am going to need a break. So I'm going to be taking my break, but I'll be back. Hopefully commentating this league again. I'm quite busy, guys, but I will hopefully be commentating this one again because I love commentating LFR. It's one of my favorite leagues to commentate. As I commentate a lot of them, and every single league I commentate is great. But I gotta say, I mean, well done to all these drivers and well done to all the league admins because it is a great league. It is an amazing league to commentate on. A lot of action, a lot of fun, and it is just something that I do really enjoy, and of course I look forward to every time I try and commentate for this league. But if you guys are wondering why I'm not here every single week, well, that's because I'm just busy. I'm just busy, guys, and I sometimes I don't have a lot of stuff to I don't have a lot of time to commentate on the league, and I wish I did, of course, but I just don't have every single moment of time I wish I have. Hopefully in the future, though, I will be available for that. But yeah, lots of stuff coming up, guys, for the racing. We have the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, which is going to get underway probably at the end of this lap. We got 11 laps into the Grand Prix, 28 laps overall. And we're ready to get the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix underway. As the safety car is coming in this lap, we're going to stop the rambling about, I don't know, rambling. But let's get this racing underway. Let's talk about what we're going to be seeing on track. We got a lot of drivers making their way through the field. James Biscuit, Bugs Bunny on those soft compound tires. Watch out for them during the Grand Prix. Flea also on the softs, right in the middle of those hard compound runners and the medium compound runners. I think he's going to be flying through the field as well. He needs a good start, as he did in the previous safety car, if I'm not mistaken, and the start of the Grand Prix as well. So let's see how that all works out for Flea in the AlphaTauri. Another driver that needs a good result in today's race is Kingsholm. He's sitting currently P2, and he will probably pit onto the soft compound tires, but it's just a matter of when. We will find out how that all works out as we get a brilliant camera angle of the top three in today's Grand Prix, and we'll get an excellent camera angles. Keen David goes very early, but that was very, very perfect for the Haas driver, as he gets a great start off of Kingsholm. Kingsholm a little bit off of that corner there. Didn't really work out great for him, but HBO's Worth is now going to try and make the move on the AlphaTauri. He wasn't going to make the move down into turn 1, but he gets a better exit out of there. He's right in the back of the AlphaTauri, coming down into turn 2 and turn 3. Here comes the Williams. Kingsholm's going to keep him behind. He's going to defend with everything he's got to keep P2 in this Grand Prix currently. Let's find out how this works out, as Anthony's right there as well. Keep an eye on that Aston Martin, who's under pressure from James, who's looking to try and go around the outside of the Aston Martin. He's going to try and go for the switchback. No, but there goes Bugs Bunny on James. Bugs Bunny's now got himself up at a P5, but James is coming back with the straight line speed. The two are side by side coming down into turn 8. These two have got great battles throughout the season, and here comes Bugs Bunny down the inside. James is trying to fight this one back as they're still side by side into the chicane, and it looks like Bugs Bunny will just about keep ahead of James for now. Flea got ahead of Daisy up in a P8 now for the AlphaTauri driver. Great to see that as well. He has to get past side views on the hard compound tires, remember, so Flea might be able to make the move. As here comes Bugs Bunny on Anthony. Here comes James on Bugs Bunny as well. James keeps behind, and it looks like HBO Worth is kind of holding up Anthony, Bugs Bunny, and James and the rest of the field here, but this is great racing. HBO Worth trying to hold the pack back as much as possible, as there goes Flea up in a 7th place. That was a good move from the AlphaTauri driver. He had to make that move. That was brilliant from him, as we have the Aston Martin and the Ferrari side by side through this particular section. You don't see a lot of overtakes into this one. As here comes James as well, round the outside of Bugs Bunny. Ooh, there's a little bit of contact with the two, but that is great racing between the three there. That was absolutely incredible to see. Through a section, you don't see a lot of overtakes. Sector 3, you barely see any overtakes. Bugs Bunny looking for the move. He knows that it is not there, and he's going to stick down in P6 now. He's got Flea right behind as well. Anthony keeps ahead, is now trying to move on HBO Swarth, coming down into turn 6 at that chicane now. Can Anthony get past? He has to get past. That's going to be crucial for him. If he's going to win this Grand Prix, he has to get past his rivals in today's race. Oh, a little bit of contact. Looks like the tire wear is just not really working out for HBO Swarth right now. I think Anthony's got a different braking zone, of course, especially with those different compounded tires. That's Flea and Sivey swapping positions there, as Daisy now up at a P8. Flea must have got a very bad exit out of turn number 7, as we have Anthony going for a move on HBO Swarth. That was critical for him to get past now. The Aston Martin gets ahead, but here comes James round the outside as well. He gets ahead, I do believe. And now here comes Bugs Bunny, now using the DRS. He's going to try and make not just one, but possibly two moves. Down into turn 11 we go. The Ferrari is side by side with the Red Bull, coming down into the chicane now. Who's going to get ahead? Is it Bugs Bunny? Is it James? They're still side by side. Make sure they don't make contact, and there isn't any contact. That's brilliant racing between the two there. They keep up their amazing racing out on track, as that is a yellow flag. That is Nero, I do believe, off the track. The driver that started second place in the Grand Prix is off at the chicane. Maybe he just went a little bit too wide, and that unfortunately cost him the result of this particular Grand Prix. It's not really looking pretty good for Nero at this stage in the race. Bugs Bunny, who started down in 12th or 13th, I do believe. Let me quickly check that. He started down in around 15th place. Wow, that's a really good recovery drive for Bugs Bunny, who's now challenging for the race victory. Wouldn't this be incredible if Bugs Bunny was able to grab P1 in the Grand Prix? They got Keemsholm right ahead on those 13-lap-old medium tires. He's going to try and defend, but I don't know how much longer he can defend, because the thing is that Bugs Bunny, James, Anthony all are on fresher tires. That's just kind of a fact, really. But, I mean, let's see how this all works out. Keemsholm, I think he's gonna try and defend as much as possible, but Anthony's got the DRS. He's gonna try and go for it. Bugs Bunny's got DRS as well. Is Bugs Bunny gonna try and make a move as well? Here comes Anthony on Keemsholm. Down the inside goes the Aston Martin, and it looks like he's gonna make the move. Ooh, but Keemsholm keeps the position. That was good racing between the two. Oh, Bugs Bunny and Anthony make a little bit of wheel bending there. Doesn't look like there's any wing damage for the Ferrari. James now gets up at a P4 now. It was pretty good racing between the four here, as Anthony's looking for the move. There goes James Biscuit down the inside. Anthony gives him the space, but here comes Bugs Bunny now. The Ferrari is now up into P4 now. It's a great move by Bugs Bunny. Puts himself up into P4. This is just great racing we're seeing here on lap 14, and pretty much the entire race we're going to continue this great battle for which probably will be P1 in the Grand Prix. Keemsholm keeps defending, and it has been a really good defense by Keemsholm. Meanwhile, Keem David is now starting to pull away. He's got a 2.9 second gap off of these drivers, and that's just great to see. Oh, I do believe, Thibbo off the track at turn 19, I do believe. He's got wing damage. He's going to have to pit in this Grand Prix. That's unfortunate. That's not going to be the best of situations for him. As here comes Anthony on Keemsholm. Round the outside. Is it going to work out? No, it's not, but here we go. Here comes Bugs Bunny now on Anthony. They're side by side through turn 3. Who's going to get ahead? Is it Bugs Bunny? Is it Anthony? Oh! Contact! Anthony spun around in the wall. The Aston Martin's down to P9. We got a really good shot of that. Unfortunately, Anthony is down to P12 now. He's moving down the order, and that is, I think, the race a win over for him. That is super unfortunate for Anthony. There was contact with Bugs Bunny there. It just didn't really work out for them, as James and Bugs Bunny now side by side. I wonder if Bugs Bunny maybe got damaged from that. Doesn't look like it. But there was contact between the two, as James trying to go round the outside of Keemsholm. There he goes down the inside now. They're side by side. Bugs Bunny will now have the opportunity to make the move on not one, but possibly two drivers. James has no DRS. Keemsholm does. Here comes the Ferrari of Bugs Bunny. Not just one, possibly two. Here he goes, round the outside. Are they going to try to make 3 wide? No, they do not. There's contact between the two there. James is now into P2. What a move that was for him, and now they've caught up to the rest of the field as well. Kingsholm and James continue this battle. This is absolutely incredible. It has not really worked out for Anthony, who's down in P14 after starting P1 in the race, but they're side by side coming down into turn 17. Kingsholm is now down to P3. That has not worked out well for the AlphaTauri driver, but James keeps ahead. Kingsholm goes wide though. Here comes Bugs Bunny, now up at a P3 now. The Ferrari gets ahead of Kingsholm, now into 3rd position for the Scuderia Ferrari team. The Ferrari team will be clapping very much, of course, but the AlphaTauri team will not be, as, of course, Kingsholm struggling with those medium compound tires, and it is not really working out for him at this particular moment, but I gotta say, the defense pulled by Kingsholm was absolutely insane. He did a brilliant job there to hold back the two drivers there. That was brilliant from Kingsholm. He did a brilliant job there. He just did an incredible job to hold back the soft compound runners, who are, I think, arguably quicker than Kingsholm at this stage in the Grand Prix. Of course, on those soft compound tires, they're going to be quicker than those mediums that are 15 lap old. So hats off to Kingsholm. He did a brilliant job there to hold those guys back. But now he's got to defend against HBO's Worth. Now, they're on similar compound tires, so I think Kingsholm most likely will be able to do so. But HBO's Worth now has the DRS and is looking for the move down around the outside of the Williams. Oh! Contact. Daisy and HBO's Worth made contact there. That didn't work out well for them, and that might be their race completely over. HBO's Worth was trying to make the move on Kingsholm, but it looks like Daisy was there too. I don't know exactly. I was riding on board with the Williams. Didn't get a full glimpse of exactly what happened, but I think Daisy and HBO's Worth made contact there. That's unfortunate, and of course, that's going to move them down the grid, and that's not going to be great for them in today's Grand Prix. Flea struggling with those soft compound tires. I wonder why he is struggling. It doesn't look like he has any damage. I wonder if those softs are just not working out for him very well. I mean, they're going to start dropping off about now, so it's to be expected, to be honest. And right now, King David might be able to win this Grand Prix. If he can stretch these mediums till the end of the Grand Prix, he might be able to do so, actually. He might be able to get this. It's going to be very interesting. As Nero and Flea side by side. Flea comes into the pit lane. So I wonder if those softs are just not working out for the number 13 car. I think it's just not really working out for Flea right now as he's coming into the pit lane. Probably going to pit onto the soft compound tires. It will be the mediums and a wing change. That makes sense now. That makes sense why he was struggling. He had wing damage. That makes sense. No wonder he was a little bit struggling. He got wing damage somehow. I don't know how he got that, but he did get wing damage. He's put onto the medium compound tire. Same with HBO's Worth as well. That's quite surprising because the softs can probably go to the end of the Grand Prix, but maybe they didn't have the opportunities. There goes Bugs Bunny down the inside on James. The battle continues on for second place, which could be P1 at the end of this race if King David comes into the pit lane. We will find out how that all works out. Bugs Bunny and James continue the battle, though. This is the one final round of the season. I think they're just going for it. Bugs Bunny and James continue their battle as here comes James. Round the outside, the Red Bull keeps ahead. The Ferrari now down to P3 as Ayub and Sivy continue their battle as well on the same amount of tires. They're still on 7-lap-old hard compound tires. They're both on that. So Sivy will look to make the move on Ayub as fast as possible, but Ayub is on those those hard compound tires. But I don't know. How is this going to work out for them? Number 1 fan might be in the best situation here because he's on 8-lap-old mediums, and those are probably faster than those 7-lap-old hards. So number 1 fan might be quicker than these guys ahead. So we'll find out how this all works out. As Bugs Bunny comes into the pit lane, he's going for the undercut strategy on James Biscuit here. This is quite interesting tactics from Ferrari here. They're going for the undercut on James here. This has to be a perfect pit stop for the Ferrari, and he's going on mediums as well. That is very surprising. I am very surprised that he's going on the medium tire. I think he would probably go for the softs, but maybe these guys just don't have the soft tires available. Maybe they only had 1 tire that was available. But that didn't really work out, I'd say. That didn't really work out for Bugs Bunny. Because, well, I mean, it could work out for him. But the thing is that he's going to have to overtake a lot of people in today's race. And he has to make sure that he gets ahead of James Biscuit. And now James, I don't know what strategy he's going to be going for. He could be going for the soft compound tires, or he could be going for the mediums. We don't know really what that strategy is going to be. So it could be really anything in today's race. We will find out how that all works out. Sivy now 2/10 behind Valache AF Jr. Here we go. Sivy round the outside. Sivy's got up into third. And AF down to P4. As it looks like Nero and Keensholm continue their battle as well. Nero gets ahead, up into P6 now. And it looks like Keensholm is down to P7 now. So Keensholm struggling with those medium compound tires. I think he's going to pit for the softs in the next couple of laps. Of course, this is what I said earlier on. If you pit for the, if you stay out on the mediums, if you start on the medium compound tires and you take them to around lap 17, lap 18, then you pit onto the softs, you should be very fast. The one thing is, you're going to lose a lot of time on those medium compound tires, but thankfully, Keensholm has not. He's actually, oh, is that his Valache Ebb? That is spun off, and he's in the wall. That could be a VSC. He's got wing damage. Ebb, that is it for the Ferrari driver. That is the end of his chances of a podium, I gotta say, as that did not work out well for the Ferrari driver. He comes into the pit lane, and that was a spin at the exit of the curb. I think he just got too much on the left side of the track. We've seen it before in previous laps in today's race. And Aeb is another victim of that difficult turn 20 exit. It is very difficult to get that correct. And it looks like Kapalit in the Williams comes into the pit lane for a front wing change. It looks like Keensholm comes into the pits and puts onto the soft compound tires. So he has done that now, as number one fan is now into second place now. And is now up into second place ahead of Sivy now. Nero is P4 as well. Nero might be able to come back into this one. Sivy's looking to make the move on number one fan. So we'll see. This could be a Haas 1-2. To be honest, this could be a Haas 1-2. Sivy and number one fan side by side. As it looks like here comes Nero as well. Ooh, a little contact between the two. Looks like they keep it going, though. It's all good there. You're probably wondering what the standings are looking like as well. Well, to be honest, I don't really know. I know the standings, but the thing is, I think these two Haas drivers and I think the two Aston Martin drivers are reserves for different teams. As Keen David is coming into the pit lane. Keen David now comes into the pits and will pit onto the soft compound tires. I do believe Keen David is a reserve driver. Number one fan, I do believe is reserve as well, because I remember seeing him in a Ferrari, I do believe. I think in Japan, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was also in an Aston Martin, but I'm not exactly sure. Sivy, I think, is reserve as well. And I'm not sure about Anthony. I don't really know the difference between the Discord names and the PSN names. Oh, what the heck was going on there? Nero had a lot of sparks coming off the back of the McLaren driver. I'm not sure if that was just my screen or my eyes, maybe. But Nero, it looked like he had sparks coming off of the back of the car. Looked like kind of like a little bit of fire, to be honest. But I think it's all good there. That would be awesome if there was like a car that caught fire. That would be awesome, you know, if they introduced that into the game. Of course, that would probably be only career mode. I think that would be best, because if it was a multiplayer and it was random, I think a lot of people would be mad. That would be very, very difficult. You train all race, you train all day just on that one track, and you're leading the Grand Prix. You start on pole, you battle all race, and you come up to the final lap of the Grand Prix and your engine catches on fire. I feel for all those people that get their engines caught on fire in career mode, or have their engine failures in career mode. That's what I meant to say. But if that was in multiplayer, that would be pretty insane. That would be real racing, though. It would be real racing, but I don't think people would like that. I would definitely not like that. That would be a horrible situation. But Keen David has come out ahead of James. This is critical for him, but the thing is that James is a very skilled driver. We also know that Keen David is a very skilled driver, and he is on the soft compound tires. So he might be able to keep ahead, but the thing is, James has got DRS. So James might be able to get ahead and then keep the Haas driver behind. We will find out how that all works out. Now, Keen David has to start chasing after Bugs Bunny, because Keen David's tires are going to start going off. As that is a yellow flag, that might be the Williams of Kapalit. I think that is Palit in the Williams that spun off at the exit of the chicane. I hope they fix that chicane. I hope they make it, that's just the lawn left-hander. That would be great. Hopefully that will be introduced, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks, maybe January, February, we'll get that information. and we'll see what happens there. That'll be great to see what exactly happens in that. Here comes James Biscuit on King David. King David stays ahead, but James is running the back. As that is Yo-Yo out of the Grand Prix. Could that be a full course safety car? It is another full course safety car that has been called out, and drama on lap 21 has been brought out as Yo-Yo is out of the Grand Prix. The second Mercedes is out of the race, but this has changed everything. Nero and Sivy will most likely come into the pit lane. And this has just helped out a lot of drivers. This has helped out everyone on the soft compound tires, as they can conserve their tires. They can make sure those softs will be able to have pace all the way up until the final lap of the Grand Prix. So this is great for the soft runners. This is not very good for the medium compound runners. So we'll see what happens here. But this is going to be a crazy end to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, as a safety car comes out for the third time here in the Tuesday night division here at the Yas Marina circuit. Okay, so pretty much everyone has pit except King David and James. Of course, both drivers have pit quite recently, so they will be able to get those tires in similar pace as the other drivers. Bugs Bunny decides to pit onto the softs, which is very interesting. Now, he could definitely go still for the win, but it is going to be a little bit difficult for the Ferrari driver. Another thing to keep an eye on is the penalties. The penalties are a big thing in today's race. Daisy #1 fan on 6 seconds time penalties. Sivy and James on 3 seconds time penalties. Now that is going to be very interesting. Nero, King David, and Bugs Bunny on no penalties. The rest have a mix as well, but I'm just going over the top 6 in today's race. But now that the safety cars come in, or now that the safety cars come out for the third time, I think we're going to get a very interesting race. Of course, this will bunch up the pack. This will give opportunities for other drivers to make their way through the field. I'm looking at Flea and Anthony in particular. Hopefully, they'll be able to get back into the fight. Of course, both are very talented drivers and will hopefully get up there, as well as some other drivers as well. They will be able to hopefully get a good result in this Grand Prix. This will bring them back into the fight. And we'll get just a few more laps of this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. And we'll see what happens as Kapalit has retired from the session. He becomes our 6th retirement of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. I think it just wasn't really going his way here today. It's unfortunate to see that, of course, but that's the way it goes sometimes in racing. We will continue on. But a lot of racing still to come for one final time in Season 2. We have so much excitement to come. A lot of action really to come. If you guys are interested in seeing... Oh, wait, what was I saying? Oh, yes, I was going to say, please comment down below on your predictions for the Grand Prix. I know this is very late, and we've already gone over the predictions and all that sort of thing, but now that the third safety cars come out, if you guys would, please send in your, I don't know, just your thoughts on who you think is going to be winning this Grand Prix if you're watching the live stream. Of course, if this is pre-recorded, you probably already know who has won the Grand Prix. But yeah, if you guys are watching the live stream right now, send in your thoughts on who could win this Grand Prix. Could it be King David? Will he continue to lead this Grand Prix? Will it be James, who is in P2? Will it be Nero coming back through the field? That would be great to see him up there as well. He could be my driver of the day, to be honest, after having not the best of the race, I gotta say. He is now in a chance of possibly winning this one. It will be very interesting. Of course, he is on the medium compound tires, so this could be a little difficult, but we'll find out how that all works out. Also, Daisy #1 fan did not pit. He is another driver not to pit in this race, so he could be struggling at the end of the Grand Prix on those soft compound tires. It shouldn't be too much of an issue for #1 fan. Same thing with his teammate, King David. And another thing I'd like to be cleared up is, will reserves score points for their team? If anyone knows that answer, please let me know down in the comments section below. With the info I have and by memory, I do believe reserve will not score points for their team that are driving here today, because I do believe Sivy and Anthony are reserve drivers for Aston Martin. They are not the full-time drivers. I do believe that is Tim and who was the other driver as well? I can't exactly remember off the top of my head. And then King David and number 1 fan, I do believe those are 2 reserves for Haas as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you guys know that information, please let me know down in the comments below. That would be highly appreciated. Yeah, the 2 Haas's and the 2 Aston Martins, I do believe are reserves. So as it stands, if they are reserves and they won't be scoring any points, I do believe Haas will lead the constructors and win the constructors championship. Oh, interesting. Okay, thank you so much for your comment that came in. I saw a comment that came in that said reserves do score for constructors. That is very interesting. Thank you so much for the information. We can now get that, we can take that information and put it into the race itself. Thank you very, very much. So that means that currently Haas will still win the constructors because Sivy and Anthony are down in P5 and P12, and the 2 Haas's are currently leading with 1st and 4th position. But the safety car is going in. We're getting the racing underway here on lap 24. Just a few laps remaining. We're gonna get one final shootout for the final race in the Tuesday night division. James running the back of King David here. King David is gonna have those fresher tires though, so this is gonna work out pretty good for him, as I think the closest battle we have is Sivy versus Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny looking for the move. He's going possibly to the right or to the left. And here he goes around the outside of the Aston Martin, and that has worked out beautifully for Bugs Bunny. Now he's up into P5, but is Sivy going to come back? He's going to try and go around the outside, trying to go for the switchback maneuver. Ooh, it's looking pretty good, but he's tucks in right behind of that Ferrari driver. Keensom right behind as well. Flea right there as well. It looks like Hbillsworth in the Williams is there as well. Anthony in the Aston Martin is close to making a move on Boosted as well. But up on the front, not a ton of overtaking going on right now, as it looks like Keensom is sending it down the inside on the Red Bull of Iggy. Oh, 3 wide. That wasn't going to work out ever. And it looks like it actually somehow they did not get any damage. That is very surprising. Well done to those guys for not getting any damage. But Flea and Keensom now P7, P8. That is working really well for them right now. Ahab gets a 3-second time penalty. He's down in P13, so it's not really working out for him right now in terms of getting those points. Sivy is now looking to add a move on, there goes James on King David. Sivy was looking for the move on number 1 fan, but we got to focus on the battle for P1 right now. James was looking for the move on King David down into turn 17. King David stayed in front, so David is ahead of James for now. Nero in the McLaren is right behind as well. Bugs Bunny is looking for the move on Sivy, who got past the Ferrari, as there goes Bugs Bunny. As I say that, Bugs Bunny is now up at a P5. He has to make the move now on Daisy number 1 fan. If he's going to win this Grand Prix, he has to make these moves fast, but of course cleanly and respectively to make the move on these guys, as here comes James and King David. James has got the position. James is up at the 1st place now. James leads the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. King David is going to fight everything he has. Is that his yellow flag? Because that is Flea out of the Grand Prix. Wings flying everywhere. Flea is out of the race. He has crashed out at turn 4, and that is super unfortunate for Flea. He was looking for a really good result in today's race, and that is just, oh, I feel for the guy. That's unfortunate, as Bugs Bunny did get past number 1 fan, but Bugs Bunny is now under pressure from number 1 fan. King David has now got the move on James. King David now up into P1 now. A little bit of contact between the two there. Bugs Bunny and number 1 fan are still side by side, but Bugs Bunny keeps ahead and is now up into P4 now. He has to make the move on these drivers. Currently, he is P3 in today's race, and James and King David will continue their fight. Is James going to try and send it down the inside of the Haas driver? He's a little too far back, though. He cannot make the move on the Haas driver for now. David keeps ahead for now. Nero right behind, and Bugs Bunny there in that battle now. We have a 4-way fight for the race lead, and one final time in the Tuesday night division. We are entering lap 26. My goodness, I'm saying numbers wrong. I'm so mixed up here. But I gotta say, what a great battle we're having right here as David and James make a little bit of contact there at turn 18. David keeps ahead for now. James right behind. Nero in that McLaren right behind, as Bugs Bunny is now trying to make the move as well. Here comes the Ferrari driver. He's right behind the 3rd place driver in P3. Now he is on the soft compound tire, so he's going to be the fastest driver out of any of these guys. James and David side by side coming down into turn 1. We go. James keeps ahead. The Red Bull takes the lead of the race. David is now up and down to P2, but he's going to have to try and fight this one back against James. Bugs Bunny is now into 3rd now. He has made the move, and that is Bugs Bunny now into third place. This is really looking good for the Ferrari driver. David is now under pressure from the Ferrari driver. Bugs Bunny is looking ascending. He's losing every opportunity he's got to try and make the move on the Haas driver. But James is now gaining time. James is now into first place and now has a 6/10 gap to King David. King David now down to P2. Bugs Bunny is just losing a little bit of time. David's got the DRS. He's going to go for it. Down the inside goes the Haas driver. The power of the DRS is working out really well for him as he's side by side with the Red Bull coming down into turn 10. And they're almost 3 wide. They are 3 wide. They are 3 wide coming down into turn 11. This is great racing. Bugs Bunny has made the move on James. Is he going to try and send it round the outside? Here comes Nero as well. James makes a long ways back send on Bugs Bunny. It was almost contact and was almost devastation for both of the drivers there. But they continue the battle on Bugs Bunny. James Biscuit and King David continue their ongoing battle for first place in the race. As, Bugs Bunny makes a mistake. The Ferrari makes a mistake. He has lost the position. James now into P2. There's a little bit of contact between the two drivers there. Bugs Bunny makes a mistake at turn 17. He's lost the braking there. The braking did not work out for him there. King David now takes the lead as we enter the final 2 laps of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix for one final time. We're going to say that we're on the penultimate lap of the LFR race here in season 2 of the Tuesday Night Division. James gets ahead. Bugs Bunny and King David continue their battle. Nero and Sivy right behind. So is Kingsholm and Anthony now, and the Aston Martin now is into P7. This is working out really well. This could also decide the Constructors' Championship. One little mistake from King David, and the Aston Martins have it. They have the championship. But here comes Bugs Bunny round the outside of King David. Into turn 7 we go. The Ferrari, that's Nero spun around. Nero is spun around there at the back of the field, and that's unfortunate for him. This puts Aston Martin possibly in a good shot of taking the Constructors' Championship. No, I think Haas will still score the championship, but I think if both Haas's do retire, I think Aston Martin should take the Constructors' Championship. Anything can happen in this race, but I don't think that will happen. Bugs Bunny and King David continue their battle. King David's looking to make the move on James. Bugs Bunny knows that if he's going to win this Grand Prix, all he has to do is overtake David in today's race. So let's see how this all works out. We're now entering the final sector of lap 27. Is there going to be any moves from any drivers out on the grid? It doesn't look like. Ooh, it looks like Kingsholm was looking for the move on Sivy. Anthony spun around there, and that I think is Aston Martin's. That's it for Aston Martin. That has not worked out well for the Aston Martin team. I think that might be it. Is that Bugs Bunny? Bugs Bunny around. Bugs Bunny around, that's it for him as well. That is it for the Ferrari driver. He is not winning the race as we enter the final lap. I'm going to say it one more time. We're entering the final lap of the LFR Grand Prix here today in Abu Dhabi. Bugs Bunny and Anthony round, as that is absolutely terrible for the two drivers there. And it looks like maybe Nero made contact. This has put Sivy up into P3 now. Kingsholm in a position to possibly take the podium as well. Yeah, he will take P3. Currently, he will take P3. He will be on the podium. Bugs Bunny gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane, but he's retiring. That's it for the Ferrari driver. That is not worked out. I wonder if there was contact possibly with Nero and himself, or maybe another driver. We don't know exactly. We'll have to look at that information in just a little bit. Unfortunate to see it, of course, but that is the way it goes in racing. Currently, James is looking to finish in P2 in the Grand Prix. King David will most likely finish second in this race unless there's a crash for the Haas driver. But King David most likely will win this Grand Prix and will give Haas the Constructors' Championship as well. James is coming around the final couple of corners here. He's going to be finishing in P2 in the Grand Prix. If King David gets one more penalty, though, this could hand the win to James. In today's race, number 1 fan gets a 3-second time penalty. Nothing for King David right now. So I think that is going to be it in a crazy end to this race. It's been a magnificent season for everyone in LFR, and we're going to say so long until Season 3. What an amazing race this is truly going to be. King David comes around the final corner to take the Constructors' Championship for Haas. King David wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix for one final time. He is the winner of round 17 in LFR. What an amazing race this truly was here at the Yas Marina circuit. Absolutely incredible. King David wins it by 6/100ths of a second. James Biscuit is in P2. If he just gained 6/100ths of a second off of King David, he would have had the win here today, but that's the way it goes in racing. That's how close it can be. Congrats to Kingsholm as well. It wasn't really looking good for him at the end of it, at the beginning of it, but at the end of it, he showed on some incredible performances. He's going to take P3. Congrats to him as well. Really well deserved in today's race, and that is going to be it. The two Aston Martins finished down in P7 and P8, so that means with King David's win, he will score the Constructors' Championship for Haas Formula One team. They have done it. It has been the triple championship, or the double championship for the both of them. It is the win for Haas F1 team in the Constructors' Championship. It is the win for Rab in the Drivers' Championship. Wow. What a year, guys. What a year here in LFR. What a season. Season 2 has been absolutely thrilling every single race. And we now say so long till Season 3. And wow, just gotta say, what an incredible season. So King David wins the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix ahead of the Red Bull of James and the AlphaTauri, who got driver of the day as well. Some congrats to him as well for putting on a incredible performance and getting that driver of the day. But wow, congrats to King David on top here in LFR. I'm sure he'll be happy with that performance, as Haas will not just score the win here today, they'll also score the win of the Constructors and the win of the Drivers' Championship. It has been a magnificent year for the Haas F1 team. It has been a brilliant year for LFR here in the season. Wow, just gotta say, what an incredible season this has truly been. LFR never disappoints, and of course, this race truly was amazing. It was definitely something else. That battle we had for P1 was mesmerizing. That was brilliant from those drivers there. But that's the results for the final race in LFR, the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, round 17 of the Season 2 Championship event. King David on top alongside James and Kingsholm rounding off the top 3 from 17th on the grid to 3rd. Wow, congrats to him as well on that performance. HBOsworth finishes in P4 with Nero in P5, Ahab in P6, Sivy in P7, Anthony in P8, Boosted in P9, and Number One Fan rounding off the top 10 for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. We're heading to the loading screen now, and we're going to head into the end of this live stream as well. Guys, gotta say, thank you so much for joining us for not just this race, but the season as well. It has been a brilliant season for all these guys. It has been absolutely incredible. Now, another thing I want to mention real quickly before we end off the stream, there's actually a couple things I should mention. And that is, I like to do this at the end of the streams. It's just something I've always liked to do. And if you guys don't mind, I'll quickly do it. I usually like to do a driver of the season and a team of the season. And I gotta admit, I haven't been in the full season of LFR, so I haven't seen every single race. But of what I've seen, I'm gonna say for my driver of the season and my team of the season, I mean, it's a really hard choice, but I'm going to go Kingsholm for the driver of the season. He's been a really consistent driver, scoring some great performances. AlphaTauri are going to be, I'm sure, very happy with his performance in today's race. It has been a brilliant season for him in LFR. As, of course, the league owner, I'm sure he'll be very happy with that one. He also scores 3rd in the Constructors and the Drivers' Championship and in the Constructors' Championship, if I'm not mistaken. So congrats to them as well. Team of the season, it's either going to be AlphaTauri or Haas. I think it's either going to be those two. I think Haas have put on an amazing performance this season, but working as a team, that's one thing, of course. I think the Haas team they didn't really have both drivers consistently there at every single Grand Prix. I think one team that did was AlphaTauri. Kingsholm and Flea, they were both there. They were consistently grabbing points. So I think they got to be my constructor of the season as well, just because of that, you know. But all the teams, all the drivers did an incredible job. There's not one team that did a great job in today's season, as every single driver and constructor did a great job this season. But that's gonna be it. I think there's not much more to say. I gotta say one more thing. I want to let you all know this will be my last race in the Tuesday night division, as I'm going to be doing some other stuff on Tuesdays and stuff like that. So I won't be able to make the races on Tuesdays, but hopefully I'll be able to make some other racing in the league. So we'll see how that all works out. I haven't really. I need to talk with all with everyone, all the admins of the leagues that I do commentate, and I need to figure that all out. But yeah, just wanted to let you guys know. I want to say thank you so much for your support. It has been an amazing journey. It has been to commentate on the Tuesday night division, and I wish you all the best for the future in the Tuesday night division. Hopefully I'll return. We'll see how that all works out though. But anyway, that's it. I'm clapping my hands now to say that's it, because that is going to be it of the LFR season. What an incredible season it truly was. I cannot wait for next season in season 3. I hope you guys will have an amazing holiday. Merry Christmas to all of you. And yeah, take a break, take the time to enjoy just the holidays, you know, and we'll see you when the new year comes into play, of course, and of course when season 3 comes in as well. But that's season 2. That's the Tuesday night division. This was all the drivers. Thank you to all those drivers. Thank you to all the admins, and thank you to all of you watching. I'm Formula Jonah. I've been Formula Jonah, your commentator for today's race. I gotta say, I'm so tired from that one, because I mean, I'm tired in a good way, you know. That was brilliant commentating on. So just one more thing I wanted to say. I just want to say thank you so much. So I'll see you all in the next one. Subscribe to the channel to see more content. Like this video as well if you enjoyed it. And we'll see you all for season 3. Have a great holiday. Goodbye.